Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to this channel once more. And in this channel, we discuss latest news as, as they arrive. So today, ODM party unveiled their candidate for the Matungu by-election, contrary to what many people expected. Many people never expected ODM as a party to field a candidate in Matungu by-election, considering what happened in Msambweni and considering that in the last parliamentary election in the same constituency, Matungu, ODM candidate performed very poorly. ODM's candidate was number 5 out of the 6 candidates that contested for the election in Matungu 2017. ODM's candidate was the 5th, the second last in that constituency, with just a paltry 4,213 votes. So in this channel, we do thorough research and thorough analysis to exactly see what is happening on the ground, and for you to have a clear picture of exactly what to expect in Matungu by election. So I've taken my time and I've done a thorough research, and going by the results of Iebc of 2017 parliamentary election in Matungu, we find that the late Justice Murunga of ANC won the seat with 18,088 votes. The second candidate, who is now ANC candidate, was Nabulindo Peter Oscar, who contested on a Ford Kenya ticket, and he had 10,636. The third candidate was a Jubilee candidate, who was the MP then, Were David Aoko of Jubilee, who had 8,618. The fourth candidate was an independent, Abora Paul Posh, with 5,022 votes. The fifth candidate was ODM's candidate, Achayo Paul Agutu, with 4,213. And then the last candidate was another independent candidate, Faida Godfrey Ouma, with 985 votes. It seems in this constituency, many contestants seems to have Luo names. I don't know what is wrong. Or maybe, Baba says that this is a clan where it comes from. And so most of them, you find that they have some Luo names. So, ladies and gentlemen, looking at those results, those are results of 2017 parliamentary election in Matungu constituency. You can clearly see that ODM's candidates performed very poorly in this constituency. Very poorly. ODM's candidate was the second last in Matungu constituency. So I've tried to analyze and see things, exactly what is happening, and I've come to some very interesting conclusions. The first candidate was Justice Murunga the late of ANC, who won almost 50% of the votes. And then the second candidate was a Ford Kenya candidate, Nabulindo Peter Oscar, who had 10,636 votes. The Ford Kenya candidate, Ford Kenya has donated that candidate now to ANC party. It means now Ford Kenya is not fielding a candidate in Matungu constituency. Ford Kenya is now supporting the ANC candidate of Musalia Mudavadi. Then, a very interesting development also, the candidate that ODM announced today as their candidate for Matungu is the immediate former MP who lost the seat in 2017. In 2017, he was the third candidate. He contested on a Jubilee ticket. So Jubilee has also just donated their candidate to ODM. Their candidate is the immediate former MP of that constituency. So it means the second candidate in the last parliamentary election, the second candidate who was on Ford Kenya, has been donated to Musalia Mudavadi's party. And then the third candidate who contested on a Jubilee ticket has been donated to ODM party, Raila's party. The rest is interesting. So just looking at these results, without too much analysis, we can just say the race is going to be between ODM and ANC. But you know, sometimes voters have their own ideas. So I've tried to do some mathematics here. If you combine ANC votes, what ANC garnered in 2017 in that constituency, plus Ford Kenya votes, assuming that in 2017 the people of Matungu voted strictly on party lines, then you combine ANC and Ford Kenya, you put 18,088 plus 10,636, you will get 28,724 votes. So Musalia Mudavadi's candidate, assuming that in 2017 people voted strictly on party lines, then this election, I can say, is already won. Musalia Mudavadi's candidate has already won this race, assuming that the people in 2017 strictly voted on party lines. If you put Ford Kenya and ANC, they have about 28,724 votes. And then you put Jubilee and ODM, because now Jubilee and ODM in Matungu have combined forces, you get 12,831. And then also you combine the independent votes in that constituency, assuming that those who voted for independent candidates do not want anything to do with any party, then you have 6,000. So assuming that that's exactly what happened in 2017, then Musalia Mudavadi's candidate is going to win with a landslide of 28,724 votes. ODM's candidate is going to come second with about 12,000. And then any candidate that is going to be fronted by independents, assuming all independents vote for one candidate, is going to be third with about 6,000 votes. So I've just told you how the votes will be anyway. But now there are two factors to consider in this by-election. There is what we call the Oparanya factor and also the sympathy votes factor. Oparanya, as a governor, has done pretty well in this county. And Matungu is one county in Kakamega. And I strongly believe because of the development, the kind of development Oparanya has done in this area, he has some little influence in this constituency. That is one factor that can change the whole arithmetic. And also we have also seen that in by-election, especially when a member of parliament dies. We saw it in Msambweni, where a kinsman was voted in because, I think, of sympathy, most likely sympathy, and we also saw that in Kibra. Kenyans are very funny when it comes to voting. Sometimes they can disregard party popularity and they elect somebody who is completely new, who is related to the late member of parliament. And we have seen it in so many places. In Sotik, we saw it, where Laboso replaced Lona Laboso. We've seen it in Bomet. In most parts of the country, we have seen sympathy votes being given to candidates. So, ladies and gentlemen, the race in Matungu is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because in the first place, if we now leave that arithmetic, in the first place, ODM's candidate in the last election was one Achayo Paul Agutu. Achayo Paul Agutu, from rumors we have on the ground, is that he wanted to be given the ODM ticket, but the ODM preferred to give it to the immediate former MP, Were David Aoko. So it's going to be interesting there. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, I think with this analysis, you can see, or you can even predict for yourself how the race is going to come out. But I'm predicting that the race is going to be between ANC of Musalia Mudavadi and ODM of Raila Molo Odinga. Let me now say something, leaving that aside. Ladies and gentlemen, in this channel, we analyze things diligently and dig deep into things. Raila Amolo Odinga, or rather ODM party, was expected not to field a candidate in this constituency. But in case you don't know how Raila plays his politics, let's go back to that famous by-election in Ugenya. ODM party was beaten squarely, hands down, in that constituency. And they were also beaten squarely in Embakasi South. Though Embakasi South, we can't say they were beaten because the seat was not theirs. The seat was a Wiper's seat, and Wiper retained their seat. So we can say that ODM was beaten squarely in Ugenya, and they wanted a way of redeeming their image. So they went to Kibra and they redeemed their image there. ODM suffered a humiliating defeat in Msambweni, and I'm very sure that ODM wants to use Matungu to redeem their image. And from what I'm seeing, ODM is going to redeem its image through this by-election. It's not a must-win for ODM in this constituency, because anything, the seat was not theirs. Their candidate was the 5th in the last election. So if only ODM can manage to be number 2, they shall have redeemed their image. If they can manage to be number 2 in this constituency, they shall have redeemed their image. Assuming they win the seat, assuming ODM wins this Matungu seat, then it's going to be a very big plus for Oparanya and for the ODM party in that constituency. And it's also going to send a message that Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula cannot dictate, or rather cannot direct the people, or rather the Mulembe nation, on how to vote. And this is going to injure their political stability or their political influence in the Mulembe nation. So I'm predicting that the race is going to be tightly won or tightly fought between ANC and ODM. And before I forget, Musalia Mudavadi has already made it very clear that he's going for the presidency. And the way Moses Wetangula is talking, most likely Moses Wetangula has also agreed to go along with Musalia Mudavadi. So if they lose this seat to anybody, whether to independent or to ODM, then I think their political future in the Mulembe nation is going to be bleak. And should ODM win this seat, then Oparanya is going to be, if ODM wins this Matungu seat, then all the credit is going to go to Oparanya. In Msambweni, the credit went to William Ruto, but if you look at things diligently, the person who ought to have received credit in that constituency was one Kwale Governor, Salim Mvurya. So So if ODM wins this seat, the credit is most likely to go to Oparanya and the ODM party in general. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, I hope now you understand a little bit of what to expect in Matungu constituency. You now know that the second candidate in 2017 election is now contesting on an ANC party of Musalia Mudavadi. The third candidate in 2017 is now contesting in an ODM candidate. So technically, everything remaining constant, there is going to be a battle between Mudavadi and Raila, or rather the handshake and Mudavadi. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, let me leave it at that. If you are new, make sure you tap on the subscription button and make sure you like this video. Thanks for now.